Today on Cooking for Real, I'm going to be braising again, but this time I am braising chicken thighs and bok choy, and I'm going to braise them together. It takes kind of a while. You can't do this if you don't have time. I happen to be home, so we're going to get this started. Now, bok choy is used in an awful lot of Asian cooking, so with that in mind, I'm actually going to use Asian-inspired spices and seasonings on the rub that I make for the chicken. So in this bowl here, I have fennel, which I actually got from a local farm crop share, and I hung it and dried it because I can never just use all of the fennel, to be honest. I never get through it. I'm just pulling it apart. I don't mind it going on thick. Fennel has a little bit of a flavor of black licorice. And I have my ground ginger here, about like that, and turmeric, and cloves. Oh, loose lid. Don't go too heavy with the cloves. Same with the cumin here. We're going to give it 2 good dashes, but don't go crazy. And for this purpose, because I'm doing a dry rub, we're going to use minced garlic. And again, minced garlic kind of goes a long way. So we're just going to mix this all together. You know what? I would use this correctly, except that the pestle is currently holding my camera in place. Oh, as you can see, because I've gone and knocked into it. Oh no! Good enough. Alright, so we're going to start with this. So I have rinsed off these chicken thighs, skin on, keep the skin on, and I'm going to put a light drizzle here. Oh, or a heavy dollop. Anyway, we're going to brush this skin down with this olive oil. No harm, no foul. Get it? Foul? Alright. And then we're going to take our rub. And you know, it's okay to be messy. We're not going to get anal retentive about it here. We're just not only imparting flavor to the chicken, but we're going to impart flavor to the pan. And this is, when you braise, you end up cooking in liquid. So what's happening here doesn't have to be picture perfect, because it's all going to end up in the same pot. Now go wash your hands, because chicken and spices, gross. I'm going to be using this electric skillet. Not everybody has an electric skillet. My in-laws gave me this, not last year, maybe the year before. I get a lot of use out of it. But if you don't have an electric skillet, you could use a Dutch oven, which I don't own one yet, or just a regular 2-quart casserole. So I am turning this griddle all the way up. Ooh, that's not where my oil is. Turning it all the way up. And adding 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Because we are going to get a good sear, a good crispy skin on this chicken, first things first. I am also defrosting 4 cups of chicken broth. You can just buy it in the box. I just happened to have made this the other day when I roasted a chicken. This pan actually gets very hot very fast, so I'm just going to move this oil around a little bit. And when I say very hot, I'm not kidding. Skin side down, skin side down, and around we go. This is one of those dishes that while that's going on, we're going to do something else. So what I have here in the sink, because I just washed it, is a whole head of NAPPA cabbage and quite a lot of bok choy, fresh from the farm. We are going to roughly cut these. Roughly cut. They're big chunks, but still, I mean, you could pick it up and bite it if you wanted to, but yeah, roughly cut, about like so. That didn't take long, and I'm actually going to turn this all the way down now. Look at that. Oh, surprise, there was 6 pieces of chicken. Alright, I know you see that this is raw, and that is okay because these are actually going to cook for a very long time in here. And you see the yellow on the skin, that's from the turmeric. Then let's put the prettier one in the middle. We're going to, again, this is turned down all the way while I finish roughly cutting my vegetables. So I'm going to bring you over because I want to show you what looks like actually a ridiculous amount of greens. My hand for reference. It looks like a ridiculous amount of greens. But if you've ever cooked greens before, then you will know. And I mean, maybe you haven't made greens, but you've made spinach. So you know it cooks down to nothing in no time flat. Now that those are ready and my broth is ready, I'm actually going to turn this all the way back up again. I just didn't want my meat to overcook because I really needed to cook slow. You can hear it sizzling already. Now, this is my 4 cups of chicken broth going into the pot, which you can see was still partially frozen, but that's going to come up to a boil rather quickly. Now, I have here pickled ginger. You can buy it. I made mine. I'm going to float some in here. That's probably funny, but I'll check the flavor later. I have 4 good cloves of garlic. Now just to add a little acidity to this, I'm going to put in, and remember we're going for an Asian influence on the flavors, I am adding rice vinegar. There's a lot of food in here, but still I'm only going to go about 2 tablespoons. This is Japanese sesame oil, and again, a very heavy flavor. So watch. Okay, not a lot. Oyster sauce. I'm going to do closer to 2 tablespoons on the oyster sauce. And now, in lieu of salt, soy sauce. 1, 2, 3. Anything more, you'll regret it. But it's also going to give a little bit of color and texture to this sauce. You can see that I'm finally coming up to a boil over here. Which is what I want. Because now it's time to start adding in these greens. Okay, so they are all remarkably in the pan. And I think for now what I'm going to have to do is actually put the lid on and let this cook down a little bit. Again, on high. Okay, we're at 3 minutes cooking time. Let's see where we stand on these greens reducing. It's actually better. So, again, we're going to lid on, turn it all the way down, and we'll be back in an hour or so to check on it. Okay, we've come to check. It's been about an hour and a half. As you can see, look at the chicken's trying to fall apart, and these are cooked down really well. But it's still a long way to go. Still probably another hour, if not more. You can see what this electric griddle does. The temperature got a little low, so it kicked back up. And this is at the lowest setting. But it will maintain a certain temperature. Here we are about 2 hours in, and I have taken the lid off to let it reduce. And once again, this is actually set at a very low temperature. It's just the pan trying to come up to temp. This is actually done. I'm just letting it reduce a little bit more, but I want you to see there's almost no liquid left compared to what we started with. And this released a lot of liquid too. This chicken is just fall off the bone tender. And actually what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to pack it up and put it aside for lunches, because we didn't have time to eat dinner today because we were doing things in the chicken coop. So this chicken is getting packed up, and our hungry little men will grab it as they can. Thanks for checking out Cooking for Real today, where we braised chicken and greens. Takes a long time though. You can't do this if you're going to be in and out of the house all day. If you like what you see here, please like, subscribe, and share, and please feel free to leave a comment.